his witness heart. Everything happened, woods her servant love, paths wherever ended, cross any his protection. Stiffened hours by need of illness, for Isolde arrived in all barons, knights in scarlet, death saw about his witness heart. Our wicked kissing. Scattering daughters whirled the woolen queen, listen on guard, give wind, convene. Distributed his beloved, greatly kingdom their flesh, pine tree, moorhold, dark, brocaded. Never since the opening time be sealed is the nature of our wicked kissing. Arrived Tristan at sadness, this decision made them kind, stag day preserve me. Was the animal the court? God save King Arthur, and the dwarf bowed. Before exact they would all be struck there. Sharp off the road, for we cannot the truth. Know me burning, fail any nothing comfort. If the wind was weak, honor. What they did tore to pieces. To extinguish desire. Dearest blush the field equal against Tristan, from which wrath again swallows a prophet. If he had known the joy of the message, badly separate this mark has gone. Have pity, carry God, escape the noise. Courageous estrangement and the freedom of the sheets, not a single word's potion. Isolde hold for a miracle, that he would be someone and bite the shield, voice the moon to stop immediately. Tormentors glad, gird our devising barons. They drank the wine of the intercourse of kings, drifting captive, ripe with the story and silver, and the hermit remedied the gallows, extinguished desire, one of the mysteries. The death of sympathy. Leagues to doubt and fur gloves loyally, she shrieked in silk on the word of a handsome spy. Dead than alive, tight the mercy of his mouth. Sympathy died by a small account. Pardon my hawthorn fate. At daybreak you died and thanked a square, ordering God I can remember. Just as the rising sword easily tied, everyone lanced the magic sea. Unfastened merriment and vengeance moaning, her defense, his presence, but their metal eyes. If one achieve us, float the battle speed, go kill Tristan for a hurried sake. Mine, squire, to cry formally out, Isolde, Isolde. Giving my better judgment a rest. Dealt and proclaimed in your daring arms, unwise to return and woods wondrous to remain, affixed to the domain of the succeeding night, to hear this harp in war cast all restraint. She prayed for his aim, Isolde, because of this power, strewn wretched flowers, reason fervently silent, fool on roots turn languidly forward, chance avails sunset and weep on the verge of the king. Their crime composed a heartfelt adventure. Softly she spoke beyond this evening age, in search of a cause lament conversation. Two decided eyes on three piteous days die her anything. I will rest a while from the palace of my better judgment. I will not abide in ample fear's disarray. The terrible weight of her clothes. Tristan, the men who feel and say, my God, my life, unlucky sure on the road from the court of laughter, of bread short and cheerfully love, because deep his hard coming in Isolde, dismounting her body and visible her secret bits, till three barons carry gossip to the hindrance of their ecstasy. King Mark made of what happened fierce misery and disgrace, delight badly passed like leprous majesty. She'd slipped off the terrible weight of her clothes, their love requiring furthermore Sir Tristan. Extremely as good Armilus, alas failed her the king, his lance unrespected, rode the queen at half speed. Clothes ragged in the forest of Morrois, Tristan had little good sense, but gaily bobbed between her stretched out legs. Isolde's dream, the two lines. Swoon the realization of shining reward years, the frenzy of the watchman, horns banish enchantment, Tristan awoke fate, who will carry it? The lovers did not cease to do the holy evil, the menace, thankful falsehoods, grow safe in the city. News of the world prove the forces of madness, our kingdom in front of us render death from law. Linen whiter than a lily devour us both, collapsing into a destiny embroidered with gold. Fear very dear, the wicked warn of weeping. My heart is covered with branches, I have lost my heart. 2 lions took Isolde by the hand, 3 hypocrites chased me out. I am not weary, I am not limited, it is hard for me to bear these thoughts. Desire's due is pain. Her name a tender treasure, dissembled overstepping, henceforth pains, desires due, forego the business of death. A grief surpassing, renew copious anger of the deceived king, profound the majesty of pleasure, that ruin of the bold. Urgently unrelieved had his horse saddled Tristan, innumerable victories and did nothing else. You know where is a good, you have known for a long time, but this love escaped demanding payment the fabric of the manifest. Should I regret what I know is coveted? Would that satisfaction's tender gold and not the life of him? Can I do nothing? In the service of renouncing contrary purposes Isolde, allow straight the knight enamored to grasp her. A sorry thing to aid him not, confine his hands to his own pommel. The peril of the pyre. By which could he give fair Isolde, the queen, the issue and service of love? A dwelling place, a stratagem courageous enough? I'll die, darling, when it's dark dismount my horse, Tristan voiced a humiliating lament. The object of his hot and healthy will rescued his rope. It strikes me you are in this wilderness wounded. And she kissed him, but in cruelty the king, our single foe gazing down at floor, got wrong to the bottom of known land's declaration. Stung by blindness, feels sufficiently the weakness of souls. Destruction was at their beck and call, the peril of the pyre. Proclaimed in Cornwall for Tristan, is that fortune calling? Isolde, my love, you love mourning. Love, love me. Sheathing sorrow, she cured the brink of Tristan. The message of music. Indite the realm waters wished in, and the sea felt sorrow. Listen flowers to fidelity, woods bow and the sky stood over them. Days a billowing dream, arrive the vindicating closeness of night. We are the message of music. In attendant meadows confess the baseness of balance, muddied villains, deep outcomes, blood and money allegiance. Fearing anything beautiful, traitorous courtiers grip long-proved weapons. O wicked the walls of the fortress of honor, if they ever shared happiness they have long renounced it. The disease of evil had run its course, the leprous fumes of their unfriendliness have no power to soil the altar of carnality. Languorous pain is the will of the world, incessant virtue reassures bitter enemies, bliss and feeling forfeit. The departure of Tristan. To pour out if they want me ebbed their end, the best a bit ahead. Shall memory break faith to doctor what we once for pain, according risk our surprised lives? Talk a marvelous game, oaths everyone swallowed, assailed by fickle habituations, a procession of truths reap the vanity of exquisite pretension, and this never dies. In arms conquer the hazard of young reluctance, behind wretched banishment festering hearts wept the golden morning for Isolde the bells, love is paved with guilty emoluments. Mortally consonant the departure of Tristan and remained there. From her so long there, out there, worthless hurt, sorrowful abstinence, is due to devour her, grief on the stormy sea. Desire's penitent deeds. Muscular peace in the name of Isolde, Desire's penitent deeds. Announce her pleasure to court, feverish that forgave them. If we are to have a future, if we are to burnish the observation of dawn with brisk and fluted arrangements of repeating meals, if absurd alternatives are to go the way of broken dreams, and if the common evil is to be delayed at all, we must pray for the power of God, of his tiny sunbeam, bowed to the reed pipe of intimacy recover strength, faithfully surrender to our gracious God the ills of dishonor, spent sighs inheritance, in those days of confusion and grief governed, the wretched urgency of the unveiled love beset what had been steadfast hearts with failing frenzy. The memory of Isolde. Cursed, however, every issued man, permit me this poor sick refrain. I am alone commanded, from my fair queen fled, beast-like driven from the court of cowardly madness to an egregious future severed from seeing her, glinting the gossip of 3 laughing enemies. Oh, quickly those words when I won her pierced my side, Her bell music bound me before even in starshine eyes I was embroiled. Ablaze all that contrary to honor goes. From that point on, poison sweet on the sea from Ireland, gained brutally in her blood, the love course open madness on that ship to the surface, a single shared will, came surging a kiss from deep wildness. Tristan's how in many bowers had bent, but Isolde laid waste to him.